Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Ethan or Avics here, and we're back with a new video. And today we're going to be showing off my new car. I figured it's pretty much YouTube tradition to show off your first vehicle or second vehicle or third or whatever vehicle it would be. So I figured I'd do a video on it, go over my feedback on it as I've now owned it for around 2 months now, and maybe go over some pros, cons, and maybe what I plan to do with it in the future in case I'm doing any mods and whatnot. So yeah, we'll do a quick little walk around of the vehicle real quick. This is the Mazda 3 Sport in the GT model with all-wheel drive. The Sport meaning it is a hatchback. I call it a hatch, but in terms of the actual vehicle name, it is called the Sport. The rear view camera is right there, just above the license plate there on the rest of the hatch. So as you can see here, the hatch is open, and I do have quite a lot of space in here, especially when you get to lowering down the seats. You can probably fit a lot of different IKEA products in here, but unfortunately I haven't been able to take advantage of all the space yet. Just with COVID and everything going on, I haven't been transporting a ton of people or items or whatnot, so definitely will be useful in the future, but as for right now, not really using it too much. But I just have some essentials for the winter in case anything were to happen. A lot of people don't really actually like the shape of the vehicle. I've loved it ever since I seen it for the first time, and of course the color just pops in that beautiful polymetal gray. This was actually like the exact color I would have wanted, so that definitely worked out well. The only issue here, as you can see probably on the door panels there, is it kind of has a concave part here. I don't know if you can see, and it kind of dips in on the lower part of the door, and that's kind of where all the dirt and dust kind of sticks to, and it does stick out quite a bit. It's not really a huge issue in the summer, as it's usually more dry, and if it does get dirty and you have access to a hose, you can get rid of it. And of course in the winter, it only really sticks out and happens a lot when it's wet out, so as long as it's super cold, you will be good. Now we're into the driver's seat here. This is the door, obviously. I don't know what else it could be or what else you would think it is, but one cool thing I want to show here is we'll get this thing all closed up. When you are adjusting your mirrors, you can actually click whatever one you want. It'll light up indicating which one you're actually selected on, and you can adjust it just with these buttons here, which is super cool. This is the GT model, meaning I do have like the power adjustable seats. You probably can't see the buttons there, not like it matters. Everyone knows what that is. So just kind of another useful thing. But now we're on to the center gauge cluster. As you can see, it is all lit up all nice. You might see the little sun glare in the right there. Sorry about that. I do have my low tire pressure indicator flashing there. Usually it's not there. Usually it's just like a small little diagram of my car, but of course it's winter, so my pressure is low. But yeah, that car in the center will actually show when you're riding someone too close behind them or your blind spots, and it'll kind of flash in orange depending on what part of the vehicle it's actually warning you about, which is super cool. And it's just sitting right below the speedometer there. The center screen is actually obviously a screen, and the left and the right are analog. You can also change how the speedometer looks in the center there, unless you want it to look like the classic one. I prefer this one. It looks super clean and modern, so that's why I have it like that. And then you can see the kilometers. We're at 1788, put on a light little 1700 kilometers since I did get the vehicle. Down onto the steering wheel are all my multimedia functions, and then on the right are my cruise control, and then obviously the Mazda horn logo in the center. Next up is the infotainment system. This is super sweet. I always love the shape of this thing. It always caught my eye. Get this paired up with your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and it works beautifully. The maps are great. The way that it's laid out is super modern. Even just the default like Mazda iOS, as you can see here, it looks great. Then we have all of our climate control options and start stop. Pretty simple. The only difference being is there is the heated steering wheel right at the bottom there. Turn that on and off. That's great for the winter time, so you're not freezing your goddamn fingers when you're hopping in your vehicle at -30 and it just hasn't quite heat up the rest of the vehicle. I don't really know what model or trim you need for that. I don't know if it's standard with all of them. I don't quite remember myself, so that you might have to fact check. And then here's the passenger side. pretty simple and slim. You got the 2 vents on the sides and the fake vent in the middle. Most new cars tend to be doing this. I don't know why. If you're gonna make the fake vent, why don't you make it a usable vent? I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really care also, but it just doesn't really make sense. As well as the cup holders and where your phone, at least what I think is where your phone is meant to go, just down here in that holder. Not really the most efficient. The cups kind of get in the way, and if you're plugging in your phone, it just, I don't know, it's not really for me. It's just kind of an annoyance, so I just keep my masks as it is COVID time. So that was a totally unintended use of that tray, which is funny. And then we have my armrest here. Not a whole lot of space. It works for a few little things. This little bar here to separate everything kind of comes out really easily, and I'm an idiot and knock it out all the time. So that's my little personal complaint. But that is where I keep my phone instead of at the front there. It's out of sight, out of mind, and it fits there perfectly with no problem. The first pro I would have to go with is the Bose sound system in the Mazda. I personally love listening to music a ton, so I really like that I can listen to it at high quality and have a ton of customization with the equalizer and whatnot. The second pro I would definitely have to go with is the safety features in the vehicle, whether it's the blind spot monitoring on the side mirrors, through the audio playback, or even on the gauge cluster. There's just a ton to help you make your driving experience that much safer and comfortable. And third, I'd probably just have to go with the exterior and interior look. I mean, Mazda completely nailed it. Every time I hop into the vehicle or even look at it from a distance, I am just as excited to see it as I was the first day I got the vehicle. So I definitely like being able to relive that feeling every time I hop into my vehicle. Now onto my cons. These are kind of weird, really not game breaking or deal breaking or making me regret buying the vehicle whatsoever. These don't really even matter too much, but I figured I had to throw some on. So the first one being the surface on the shifter and kind of everything down here in the center. This surface does get really dusty and scratched up, so you know, for me, it's whatever. I don't really touch that much, so it's not as bad as other people's can be, but it definitely is kind of annoying, especially when everything in here is all like material, or all like luxury material. So there is a fix to that, which I will bring up in my future plans for the vehicle in just a moment. Next up is the car not being able to be locked while running. So when you're starting it in the winter, you can't lock it when you walk away from it. I don't really know. Maybe I'm just an idiot and just don't know how, but I've troubleshooted in every way possible and I don't know. So if you happen to know, you can tell me and remind me that I'm an idiot, but I'm pretty sure you can't unless you have remote start. And the guy actually talked me out of getting remote start, as he said the tech is new and he didn't really want me to dump the cash in if it's not fully perfect yet, which isn't a problem with me. I completely understand. So in the future, I'll probably upgrade for sure. And I guess lastly, like that point I brought up before about the doors, it kind of sticks out a little bit. So if you are just so OCD about your car looking beautiful at all times, that might be an issue. However, if you are in a warmer place where you don't have to worry about winter and you have access to a hose, then you can clean this thing every day and be fine. Or you can spend the money at a car wash. It doesn't really matter, but those are kind of my cons. Really not big deals at all. I don't really care, to be honest, but I figured I had to throw a few cons into the list anyways. And then next up are my future plans for the vehicle. I just have a few things I want to do to kind of just finish it off. Firstly, like I said in the cons, you can get a ton of like anti-scratch films and carbon fiber skins to throw over top this center piece here, so I can totally eliminate all that scratchy surface if I want to, and it is pretty cheap. You can pretty much find it on Amazon or any Mazda accessory site. Next up are some new floor mats, whether they're all weather or I did find a site that makes these cool custom leather diamond mats. They're shaped like diamonds and they do look nice, and I feel like it would just kind of finish off the very beautiful look in here, and obviously the seats and everything else being leather, it would just make more sense. It is a little bit pricey though, so I'm still kind of pondering on it and won't be acting on that or really any changes soon. It's just kind of a thought in my head. Next up, I'm definitely considering replacing kind of the standard beater winter rims. I kind of want the car to just have a little pop on the wheels at any moment of the year, so I might get some cheap ones that look decent for the winter, probably black as well, just because they're gonna get beat up in the winter. But I don't know, I feel like something to replace these wouldn't be quite a bad idea if I have the extra money. And maybe even some cool summer ones. I'm sure I'll do that down the road. And if that happens to be this summer, I will be sure to make a video on that for sure. And then lastly, I'm considering throwing on a cork sport onto the exhaust just to beef up the sound a little bit more. I'm not gonna actually really hear that much of the adjustment I would make, unless of course I had the windows down. So I'm still kind of pondering on that. However, it would sound cool to, you know, the people around me. So if I really care a lot about that, I can always throw that on. But as of right now, it's just kind of a random thought in mind that I was just kind of looking at. So yeah. I also forgot to mention I will be tinting my windows whenever I get the chance. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses have closed down due to COVID for a period of time, so I am not able to tint, but I definitely will be doing that as well. So yeah, that is my new car. Super happy with it. Had it for 2 months. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of the pros, cons, and my future plans to adjust or mod the vehicle. If you guys want to see more videos on this vehicle, no matter what it is, I am definitely interested in doing more. I'm trying to expand what I do on this channel a lot more, so if you have anything you have in mind that you would like me to do a video on, I will definitely consider it. But yeah, if you guys like the video, make sure you leave a like, and if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.